Hello friends, again. So in the midst of the turmoil of history, we have to touch upon the most important and interesting thing, which actually history seems to be revolving around, and this is the single center of the physical universe, and the single center, the core of all things, which is actually something very tangible and very concrete and specific. And this is the seed structure. The seed structure, which is the essence of all things. And it's connected to, let's say, the two most mysterious and deepest notions of all times, which are apocalypse and the Messiah. Even today, it's in the air, these two notions that touch us so deeply and are such deep mysteries. And there's so much to think and say about these, but actually they're both absolutely connected to the notion of the seed. The seed, which is, as I said, the core and the essence and the single basic structure, pattern, model of the universe. This is why the universe is universe, because it's united by one single what? Structure, the basic structure of the universe. And this is basically, among all my other discoveries and revelations, this is the core, literally core, because core means seed, seed means core in Hungarian, Magyar, the language of the Mag, which is my mother tongue. Seed is Mag, and Mag is seed, and this is why, obviously, our series is called Mago, and this is actually why, in all languages, magic is magic, and magnificence is magnificence, and magnet is magnet, and whatever else, mage, and magma, and so many other things, even slightly altered versions of the same root word, radix, root word, mag, it can be found in words like mediation, media, medication, meditation. All of these are connected to the notion and idea of the seed, the mag. This is my little textile version of the seed. Otherwise, the seed or mag can be simplified as a very geometric model. But actually, in nature, you can see that the seed is by no means a strict figure, but actually something much more spontaneous and natural. So, and uncombed, as I like to use this word. So this is my key discovery and revelation, and this is behind all of the historical discoveries and revelations that I've made or had or received. So we have to understand what the seed is and how it is above and beneath our full reality, physical and non-physical, metaphysical. Actually, as I showed you before, I have this huge, extensive metaphysical work at the bottom, behind all of the historical research. And actually, my super simple seed structure or realization comes from a very complex research work that I did into texts, and especially particularly magical initiatory texts, where I realized that initiation, which happens to us, all the time, initiations, we go through transformative experiences. They are essentially concentric and trinarily concentric. So every initiation, every such important event that happens to us, which transforms us, is can be structured like a trinary concentric structure. It's like a seed. You approach a certain moment where time and space are lifted from you. So we get into these zones of timelessness and spacelessness, right? These are really the key moments of our lives. This is what we're seeking in everything, this kind of ecstasy in love, in sex, in everything, to be lifted from time and space, and where our existence becomes more clear, and we are unified not only with the other person, not only with ourselves, but with the universe. These are the experiences. So they are structured like a seed. This was my very first realization, and then it just developed into realizing that actually everything is a seed, even in the physical world, which to you might seem most obvious, but of course I was approaching from a different angle, from metaphysics. But from any which way you approach life, you will end up face to face with the seed, the mag. In the language of the seed, in Magyar, magam, like also magom, my seed is myself. So your seed is yourself. Self equals seed. So when you reach yourself, your true self, that's when you reach your seed. So welcome to the world of your seed, our seed. Here, there, everywhere, on all levels, all scales, and all dimensions. So let's begin with the most obvious angle, which is the physical angle. Look at the physical world from the very smallest scale to the largest scale. Everywhere you look, you will find the trinary concentric structure of the seed, the mug. Look at the atom. The atom is structured like a seed, right? Proton, neutron, electron. It's a trinary concentric structure. Let me show you from my little booklet here. So it's like this. The core of the core, and then the outer layer, the one further, and then the third outside. Look at the plant seed, where core, endosperm, and coat are the names of the three different strata. Look at the earth. Look at the earth. A core, mantle, crust. Right? You see it in 3D. It's a spheric construction. It's not 2D flat like here I'm showing you. It's a 3D construction. Imagine a ball that has three different strata, layers. So the earth is a seed. Just imagine the earth with all its wondrous vegetation, where everything grows from a seed. All the plants, and even all the animals and all the humans, made up of atoms, and we grow from a seed. Just imagine how a human life begins, how animal life begins, how plant life begins. All life begins and actually ends with the seed, the mug. So it's the origin, the source, and the end the seed. Then go further, look at the sun. The sun also has the same structure of the seed, which we call core, radiation, and convection. These are the three functions of the three main strata layers of the sun. But you can go as far as you wish. You will always find the structure of the seed on all levels, all scales, miniature, medium, and max sizes. And then go beyond. Go beyond into metaphysics. But before we go into the metaphysical reality of the seed, which is actually the basis, right? Because physics comes from metaphysics, and although it works both ways, but actually the physical reality is the manifestation of the metaphysical, the non-physical, beyond the physical. This is how creation happens. This is how manifestations, projections happen. That first, everything that is physical is born from something non-physical. So before we go any further, I would like to share with you, it's all keys. It's all about keys, and they're all key realizations, which I'm sharing here with you. But one of the mega main keys or master keys of my mug theory or manifesto, or these revelations, which I hope will bring about the so needed apocalypse, which is the end of a certain world, end of a certain dark world, and the beginning of a new. And thus, actually, the seed is the Messiah, the Savior. This is the saving realization, if we realize what the seed is and what it means, and how we've strayed from it and how we can return to it. So, the plant seed, which the parts of which are called core and the sperm and coat in English. That's the structure of all plant seeds, from apple seed, orange seed, whatever seed. All the seeds are structured in this way, and they have a certain very strict functionality. The function in the plant seed, let's say here, is the function of the core, which is here the red, is the transmission of original matter and energy. That's the function. And then the endosperm, which is the white here, the function is distribution of nutrient and energy. And the third, the outer layer, which is the coat in the plant seed, is the function of it is protection and also gate, right? It protects but also lets in and out whatever needs to be let in or out. So I realized that in Hungarian, the name of these three strata are called Mag, Sik, and Ham, the three layers of the mug, the seed. So I realized that there are three basic races of humanity, of the human race. Three kinds of races, let's say. Magyar, connected with the mug, the core of the core. Skita, Sitya, connected with the Sikh, which is Scythian. And Ham gives birth to Hun. And I realized that actually all races all of us are somehow connected to one of the three. We're all either Mag or Sikh or Ham, either Magyar or Nagar or Magyari or Maya. All of these are connected in our deep consciousness. Either core, endosperm, or coat belonging to either one of the three strata of humanity. So humanity itself, the single body of humanity, is a seed, and it's made up of these races that we create, these groups of people. Of course, everybody is everything, so it's not like some kind of dogmatic structuring where, you know, I am this, so I can't be that. Of course, everybody is everything, but we do, in the one body of humanity, we do share functions. So one race would be more connected with the core functions of humanity. One race would be more connected with endosperm functions of humanity, and a third race would be more connected with the Han functions of humanity. So this is how races are connected, and this is what Mag and Scythian and Han race names and deep functions come from. This is where it comes from. If you look into your own culture, your deep indigenous culture, it's either Mag or Scythian or Han. All of them, everywhere, on all continents. So this is quite wonderful, because I think most of the confusion in today's politics is over racial issues, and we've so forgotten how we're connected. It's all about how we're disconnected. But the point would be to realize how we're connected, and actually we're connected in a very, very functional, logical, and structural way. There is a conscious structure of all races. So there is a way how we should operate and function together, and right now we're so far away from that, but there is a chance to return, since at one point humanity was on such, first of all, such a high level of consciousness that we knew this. Second of all, in such kind of orderly functioning that the races did cooperate in such a conscious and perfectly organic way, and thus humanity was connected with the whole living universe, because the whole living universe is actually a very conscious and consciously functioning system, and humanity has simply fallen out of this world order. We're out of joint, not the world. We are human. The human race is so out of joint because we've forgotten that we should function like a seed, not only as a human collective, but also as racial collectives, and also as family collectives. Now, so as the human individual and the family collectives and the communal collectives, let's approach the Mag, the seed, and see how it works. So you're a seed in your own self as an individual. This is yet another angle. And it might actually be the most obvious way to approach the seed, so I don't actually know why I didn't begin this way. But so let's approach ourselves with the help of the seed. Actually, you realize what I'm holding up here. It's called a cockade or rosette, and in Hungarian kokarda, which used to be or can be a symbol of your national identity, and it was used in many eras as political and cultural and military signal, let's say, where you belong, signaling your belonging to a certain tribe, a certain army, a certain faction. But it shouldn't signal this. It should signal our collective belonging. And so the Hungarian kokarda, the Magyar mag symbol, which was also at one point used as a revolutionary symbol of national identity, can and should be used as a little model of our human, collective human model. So, the red inside is your soul, and this is your core. Opposite to what actually all new religions tell you, even the lovely ones that we like, Buddhism and whatever else, which is actually not a religion but philosophy, where consciousness is highlighted as your main function. It's not. Consciousness is not your main function. Your main function is your soul or your heart, which is here signaled with the red, which is the core of the core. Your central part is your soul. This is where everything comes from. And if you want to translate this into your everyday reality, it's your emotions and your intuitive capacity. That's how you're connected with the universe. In other words, this is energy. The core of the core is energy. And that's your soul, that's your heart, that's your emotions, that's your intuitive, the red. The fire that burns, that's the core of your existence. The white, which emanates from the red, so actually it's a sequence. It's not three different strata divided from each other. It's the sequence of creation. This is how God creates life every instant, and also in the beginning. And this is how we create our world and our universe and our reality. It's a sequence of emanation, creation, manifestation. So everything comes from the soul, the feeling, the heart, the love. That's the center, that's the red. That emanates, radiates, transforms into ideas. So even when you create something, when you come up with something, you have a feeling, you have an intuition. And that becomes an idea, a conscious idea. You rationalize it, and that's the white. That's the second strata. And the third one, sorry, back to the white, to make it more clear. This is consciousness. This is what we call consciousness, or mind, intellect, rational ideas, the rational capacity, where you make a plan how to execute your idea, what you would like to create, what you would love to, what you wish to bring about. You then make plans, right? But plans are not the first. The plans are the second step in creating anything. And the third is manifestation. So your heart or soul, your consciousness or your mind. And the third is the physical reality. You can call that your body even. The body you live in is the third layer of your mag, yourself, your seed. So physical reality is the visible. It's actually it's only 5% of the whole. As physicists say, physical reality is only 5% of the universe. And in terms of our other little figure, energy, information, matter, that's matter, right? Matter is merely 5%. So everything you see around yourself is a mere 5% of all the reality that you have. And all the reality is the two inner layers, which is the soul or energy, and the mind, which is information. So if you start understanding this, there's a whole sense and perfect order of the universe that is beginning to open up, that everything can be understood and grasped and ordered and structured and connected by the seed, the mug. So revealing this is kind of a messianistic revelation of truth, because this is the truth that has been hidden in the past centuries and millennia, very consciously hidden, so that we forget who we are and we forget our potential and we forget our unity. So this is the foundation of the universe and the unity of the universe, and thus we can say that the mag or seed is God, because what else would be God but the unifying ideal, the law? The mag or seed is the law of the universe, including humans. So wake up, humanity, we have to return to our original law. Soul, mind, body, energy, information, matter. Translating this into our social reality, the soul is equivalent to the woman, the feminine, the mother. This is the feminine essence. The mind is equivalent to the male aspect of us, of each individual. It's the man, the masculine. And the third, the body or matter, is equivalent to the child. So actually what, let's say, Christianity tells us in its dogma of the Trinity, Holy Trinity, consisting of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, it's a completely transformed and forged Trinity, because originally the Trinity should be Mother, Father, and Child. This is the sequence. This is the order. It's coded. It's not random. It's not made up. This is the coded order of everything, including society. So the basic unit of society is a mother, a father, and a child. So patriarchy, which begins and ends with the patriarch being the head of the family, is ab ovo, from the very start, a fake, a false, a forged order. It's disorder. Patriarchy is based on disorder. Okay, so these are the foundations of our mug or seed universe. Now, to take this one step further, we have to realize that that our languages are also structured originally like a seed. So there is a basic seed logic and pattern of all languages, of which the Hungarian or Magyar language, which is the language literally of the seed, can illustrate this, and not only illustrate but demonstrate it perfectly. There is, I found at one point in my research already a long time ago, after my writing my PhD and the grand metaphysical work, of which the conclusion is the Mag, the seed theory, I realized that in the Magyar language there is a very specific logic of a trinary concentric structure. And one of its traits is gender. Not gender, actually, the non-gendered personal pronouns. So personal pronouns, I, you, and the third person, this is the basis, this is the foundation of our reality. Just imagine when a baby is born, these are the three, let's say, pillars of reality. There's me, there's you, and there's he, she, and it, as we have it in the English language. But in Hungarian, the third is not divided into gender. There's one single word for the third. So I, or me, is in Hungarian, it's én. And we can already connect it with the notion of mother. If you remember, the center was the mother, and in Hungarian, mother is anya. So én, which is equivalent to anya, the mother. Te, you, which is equivalent to atya. And the third person, he, she, it, which in English it's he, she, it. It's in the English language code, which is miscoded and forced and manipulated. The third person in the original version is ő. So there's no it. Everything and everybody in this universe is alive. So how can you have an objectified third person? And of course, if you imagine that the he-she division is actually a huge obstacle in our thinking, because, and not only in our thinking, in our speaking, and in our entire reality, from devotion to social customs, if we have a he-she divide, we simply don't have a word for a genderless, a beyond gender third person or third reality. It's a huge obstacle that we cannot even fathom, let alone talk about a God that's not a he or she or it, because God is neither of the three, neither he nor she nor it. It's an ö. It's a third entity, a third dimension of our reality that's beyond he or she, and definitely not it. So when you realize that actually the secret of personal pronouns goes so far, and it's a man-made construction, at least in the languages where the personal pronoun circle is broken, it alters your entire reality. And when the gender appears in languages, you can pinpoint and put your finger exactly on the moment when gender appears in languages, and I think I will not get into it now, but as we look through history, and in Mago we will look through history, we can pinpoint exactly when the gender enters language, when it's implemented like a virus program, specifically and consciously and systematically embedded in languages. So when the gender appears in languages, that's where patriarchy sets in, and that's when a broken system appears, and that's when colonial patriarchies appear, and that's when the world is broken. That's where wars begin. That's when the it appears in language. Just imagine, that's when slavery begins, because that's when the objectification of the other person, that you use them, you utilize them, you usurp them as an object, that's when it enters societies. Otherwise, it's unthinkable to use another person like an object. And this is when slavery appears. Or let's say logging, cutting of woods, or the devastation of nature begins when the it appears in languages, and the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom are no more our allies. They're no more our brothers and sisters. There's a beautiful word in Hungarian, testvér, which is brother, sister. It's both. It's not either or. Your testvér, it's your, and literally it means body blood. So my body blood is my brother, sister, and testvér is animals are body blood, and plants are body blood. They're of the same essence, they're the same nature. So when the gender appears in languages, that's when the seed structure of languages and consciousness and cultures and civilizations and paradigm is broken. And that's when the inorganic and unjust, unfair disorder of systems enter humanity. And it's very, very clear to see the process of this spreading throughout history, and actually concluding in today, in the complete apocalypse of today, or disintegration of today, disintegration of relationships, disintegration of units, disintegration of the unity of humanity. And humanity as such has fallen out of the unity of the universe. But we have to find our way back, and it's the only way is through the Mag, and this is why I'm saying the Mag, or the seed, is the Messiah. This is our salvation. This is the only road to our salvation. And that's why this is the sign of the apocalypse, which means revelation, actually, literally. So if this ancient, high-tech, original structure of our being in our consciousness and our operation and systems re-enters humanity, this will be no more a signal to end times, actually end times, end of the Kali Yuga, but the beginning of the Golden Age. So we will continue this, understanding this in much more detail and connected with history in later chapters. And in the next little episode, I will have to go into the country, my country, the land that calls itself by seed, and the history of this country and what we're keeping here in the Carpathian Basin that we call the Mag, and how it's manifested in our history and our consciousness and our traditions. Okay, so enough for now. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope this begins to mean a lot to you, because it means a lot. This is really the big secret, the secret of the seed. And I'm so happy if I can pass it on to you. Please consider, meditate on it. Even meditation comes from Mago. Think about it. Think about your own Magness, your seedness, which is the key to your majesty, to your magic, and your magnificence. Peace.